Hello everybody, welcome to Inside the Tape here in Snowshoe for round 6 of the World Cup. But this is it, this is the final round of the 2021 season. And we're on the same track as last time, so the race was yesterday for round 5 with a couple changes. So I'm not going to go through the whole track like we normally do in this video, I'm just going to tell you about the changes. So right at the top, do the first few turns, and instead of going right and into those tight woods where I absolutely nailed myself and had a huge crash, we cut left and do a step down over one of the roads. It's nice and chill, nothing too much to worry about, and then we actually go straight through those tight woods, and it's like a straight shot, super fast. Couple little bits you got to go light over, but nothing too much to worry about. You pop out into the piste, and there's some big moto whoops that look kind of hectic, but you can just double them, they're actually quite chill. Not seen anyone triple yet, but there's rumours someone might try. Then you've got a nice flat turn in the piste, and then you've got a big step down, which looks kind of scary when you're stood looking at it. But the speed you come into is just perfect, and you float over it, although it is scary, and some people did give it a big old yank and got a bit sketchy. After you land that step down, you then hit the fire road and then filter back into the berms before the slingshot tree gap. So we're back onto the track as usual. And then further down, you get into the Mercedes-Benz rocky section. I forget the specific name for it, but it's the bit preceding the really steep death chute. So we're not doing the death chute, which I'm quite happy about. So when we get into the rocks, we take a hard right along 180 right, traverse across the hill a bit and drop into a new rocky section. Tight left-hand turn, and then there's a couple line choices. There's a really straight, direct line with really spiky rocks. You've got to be super precise with where you weight your tyres into a right-hand corner. Or there's a right-hand line. It's a little bit harder to get onto, but it's easier to ride, and then it makes the corner at the bottom a bit tighter. Not a huge difference between the two. I prefer the right line just because it's a wee bit safer, so I'm going to stick with that. After that, you go right-hand corner, then a big left-hand berm, then you've got a super fast and really tricky straight that we're going to ghost. So coming out the left-hand berm, riders can set up a little bit high on the bank. Guy nearly crashed there. So coming out of that left-hand berm, riders can set up high on the bank to try and straighten out the next corner, and then the track splits. There's a left line that's really direct with a couple sharp rocks and slightly off-camber ones that you hit at high speed and in a hefty compression, so it's really tricky to get smooth, but it's very straight. There is a wider line that you have to gap into to miss a really sharp little rock, but it's a lot smoother and potentially can carry you more speed into the next section even though it's a bit longer. Just fire up the ghosting program and see which line is fastest. And I'm going to have to apologize before we kick things off because the camera really struggled today and therefore the program really struggled too. But we did figure out the difference. We know which line's fastest. It's just going to look a little bit shaky. So first of all, we have Luca Shaw on the inside and direct line and Finlay Isles on the outside line. Let's see which works. So they both come into the section and you can see Finn sets up wider so he can then swing to that outside line, while Luca is going more direct and Brooke is casually walking across the track. Luca's looking in front at the moment, but Finn is catching up. Look at the speed he carried into that outside, and it slingshotted him out in front of Luca. Then going into that next straight, Finn is going to be carrying more speed, and as he can't pedal down there, he should carry that all the way to the finish and takes it by 0.076. So that outside line is looking faster, but let's see someone a little bit quicker on that inside. Here comes Remy Therion challenging Finn Isles with his inside line. And look, he's already pulling ahead. He came into the section much faster and more direct. But as we know, Finn was super fast into this turn and will carry the speed out. But Remy is already so far ahead. So Finn is going to have to seriously get going if he's going to catch up with Remy down this final straight. And it's going to be close. And yep, Remy takes it by 0.043. So that inside is looking quick. We did see Charlie Harrison giving a big huck over the rough rocks to try and carry more speed. So let's pitch him against Remy Therion on that fast inside. So here comes the challenger, Charlie Harrison. He swings it up high, heading down into that low line, while Remy is pulling away on that more direct inside. Chuck heads down, carrying plenty of speed. He spies the gap, he pulls, he heads towards the moon over those rocks and lands on that smoother bit of track. But is it going to be enough? I can't see how he's going to be able to catch him. And at the finish, he's closer, but he's still 0.36 behind Remy. So can anyone make that outside line work? Well, we've got two fast Frenchies that might just be able to do that. Loic Bruni and Thibaut Deprella both get this lower line really fast. So let's compare them both to see who is fastest on that low line. They both come motoring into the section, with Deprella being a little bit tighter and Bruni getting a wider setup. As they go down through the rough rocks into that lower line, Bruni gets off the brakes earlier and is carrying more speed. Bruni slingshots up as Deprella gets a little swap on, but he's still keeping it going nice and smooth. It's going to be who's carrying the most speed out and who stays the smoothest down the straight, and it's Bruni by 0.08, really close one. So let's put the fastest on that low line against the fastest on that inside, Remy Therion versus Loic Bruni. So here they come motoring into the section with Remy heading on that more direct line as Bruni swings down to that low. Looks like Remy's only got a little bit of a lead, but we know how fast Bruni goes around this bottom turn. Look at him motoring round, it's longer, but he's going so fast and it's looking like he's ahead of Remy. As they go down this next straight, it is anyone's game, but it's looking like Bruni's pulling away and Bruni takes it by 0.28. Bruni takes the Pinkbike Ghosty Award for this section. Down that next straight, it's just all about going light where the rocks are sharp and pumping where the track is smoother, and then you filter back in to the old track right where the steep section came down. I've been liking the straighter line in this section, but I think it might be possible to do that wider line faster. So I've not tried the wider line, but I'm going to try it this morning and see just how the exit speed feels. And it's so hard to be able to tell unless you're GoProing and timing, or you got a team manager trackside with a stopwatch. We're here at the lower rock garden, which is called the Vittoria Rocky Track Attack, just as Anna Newkirk comes down. Hi Anna. Hi. So Anna, is this bit really rocky?
It has a few rocks.
It's a couple.
Every now and then, maybe like 3.
So this section played a really big role in the race last time we were here back in 2019, with Danny Hart getting this so clean and the exit so nice that he ended up winning the race. So we're going to have a look at this section, see what line works, because there's a new line this year. There's an outside line around a tree which is easier, but it is longer. So let me just kind of briefly talk you through the section. So you come in over the drop to flat into this section. It's really tricky. You can go off the middle, but at race speed, there's like an upslope with some really nasty rocks you land on. You can jump a little bit left, which has a bit more of a downslope, but then it's a bit more of a swerve down into the fire road crossing. Lots of little chunky rocks that you can choose when to go light over or try and take a line to just miss some of the square edges. But a lot of the time you just go where you end up. And after you cross the road, there's a good couple meters worth of track to play with, and there's not really a specific line, but riders are just kind of going where they feel is smoothest. And down into the last bit of the section, that's where the line choice really comes into play. So there's a wide line around the tree, it's got a couple sharp rocks going into it, but then a reasonably supportive rut around the corner. There is one big spiky rock sticking out midway through the turn that your bottom bracket just wants to scrape on. So where you want to be pushing into the turn, you actually have to be light so that you don't scrape your bottom bracket on that. On the inside line, there's kind of 2 different ways of doing it. You can go right next to the tree and then take a big kind of compression and then try and hold the line, catching as few of the rocks as possible. Or you can go a little bit tighter. You don't get quite as heavy a hit as you go into the turn, but it does make the corner a bit tighter. So does the wide line carry you more speed out of the rocks, give you less to worry about and put you faster into the next straight, or is the shorter inside line a faster option? As always, it depends on the rider, but we're going to ghost this section and find out. So let's have a look at this crucial rock garden, and I have to say again, the camera tried its best. It doesn't look great, but just trust us, the results are right. So let's see Luca shot on the inside line. And Bernard Kerr going all the way around that tree on that outside line. So as they both come flying into the section, watch Bernard flick up a rock there as he takes a more direct line in. He's already pulling ahead of Luca because he's come into this section much more aggressive. He must have been faster off the drop and across the road. But he heads round the tree into this outside line while Luca turns down the inside. And it looks like Luca's already catching him. Look, they're like neck and neck as they go round the turn, and the camera is starting to glitch out a wee bit, but they are neck and neck. But Luca, he drifts wide, and Bernard's already off the brakes and motoring ahead. And as they come down, that's a totally normal glitch out that normally happens, and oh, trust me on this, Bernard took it by 0.048. So that outside looked really good there, but how about we take someone who's won a Pinkbike Ghosty award in the past and put him on the inside? Here's Loic Bruni taking the direct line. So they come motoring into this section, and Bernard again is on that direct line, flipping up that stone. Loic is on a smoother line, heading outside to set up for that inside line. Bernard motors into that wider line, and it looks like Bruni's really close, so he must have been really aggressive into the section. Bruni dives down the inside as Bernard swings round, and it looks like Bruni's just a little bit ahead. He is a little bit ahead, but can he get a clean exit? He definitely does, and he is pulling away. Look at this. And yeah, it glitched out there, but I'll just tell you, at the finish line, Bruni took it by 0.045 on that inside. That is a big gap. So this is the first time in history that the Pinkbike Ghosty Award has been awarded twice to the same person. Loic Bruni, you are a hero, and he was fastest in qualifying. So look out tomorrow, folks. Bruni's on a tear. So that is it for Inside the Tape today. Hope we've managed to give you a bit of illumination on these two sections. They'll both be in the live feed so you can watch and see what lines people are doing. I'm going to pack up, head back up. It's practice time for me, so I'm going to give these lines a go. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow for Story of the Race and race day. And hopefully I got to race. Got to do better than 40th this time.